Listen, we're going to kick off with the front page of the Daily Mail. PM's reward for failure as Sadiq Khan is knighted. We're talking about the New Year's honours list.
It's not a surprising Daily Mail front page, but rarely I agree with it. Well, actually, I don't agree with the failure bit. I'm not sure about the failure bit.
Explain, Matthew.
Yeah. Because actually, you could say he's been rewarded for winning elections. I mean, that's arguably the best you could say about Sadiq Khan. I mean, he has won 3 elections. He's serving his 3rd term. But this annoys me. As a left-leaning person who voted Labour, I cannot understand why Keir Starmer is rewarding, as a Labour Prime Minister, a fellow Labour politician, a serving mayor, OK, who's still having to prove himself to the electorate, still having to deliver on pledges that he made when he was last elected. And look, I voted for Sadiq Khan myself. I think I voted for him all 3 times. But it just seems to me to be sort of political cronyism. And particularly when Starmer pushed the boat out, quite rightly, I think, when Boris Johnson was seeming to treat the honours system as his sort of, I don't know, personal gift scenario. I think it is hypocritical.
Marianne?
I do have time for that point that a Labour Prime Minister should perhaps not be handing out honours to people on their own team. Fine. However, I think the crucial point about Sadiq Khan is that he is serving his 3rd term. So you're saying, well, he's being rewarded for winning elections. You could argue that he's being rewarded for having served the people of London for that long. And obviously, the Daily Mail and the Telegraph are both running this as a headline of, you know, rewards for failure, terrible cronyism, blah, blah, blah. But kind of, you know, they would, because it's just a kind of a tool to beat the government with. It doesn't actually have any bearing on... and also a tool to beat Sadiq Khan with, because he wages a war on motorists, he wages a war on, you know, whatever it is. Crime is rising, there's a terrible housing crisis.
Or he tries to clean up our streets. You know, as a Londoner, I want cleaner air.
Or the kids' free school meals.
Well, exactly. And I said I voted for him, but this is also a stick with which to beat Khan. Not on the part of the Daily Mail, but he gets fearful racism and Islamophobia, and those 2 things are very much intertwined often. And a lot of racists really dislike him. Clearly, that's not why I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this because I don't think that you should be rewarded for being a Labour politician, effectively, that's how people will see it, by a Labour Prime Minister.
So it would be OK if Sir Keir Starmer did this as he was leaving government?
No, I don't think it would. And by the way, Andy Street, who was the West Midlands mayor, wasn't he? He's been knighted as well. So it's not just a Labour politician. But I just think the optics, when you have scored own goals as a Prime Minister, you've got off to a difficult start, read the room.
I think what it does do, speaking to the abuse that Sadiq Khan faces...
Which is horrific.
Every day. I think what it does do is it's a seal of approval. It's a mandate for keep going, we back our guy.
But we're the ones who should be giving him the seal of approval. We're the voters.
But that's
shouldn't be given by effectively your leader.
Well, but it's the establishment, isn't it? It's supposed to be beyond the Prime Minister. He's just the device by which the establishment gives the honour.
Also honours for Gareth Southgate, Stephen Fry, Emily Thornberry, and of course we were just speaking to Lee Castleton as well. So
Emily Thornberry, who can't get into the cabinet, is now given
I've wound him up now. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the Telegraph. Marianne, talk me through this. A drive to make school science less Western.
Oh, I mean, speaking of the culture wars and trying to drive divisions through our society, the Telegraph are running this article about royal societies, so that the honourable societies of biology and chemistry and physics and mathematics, who are urging the government to make science less, quote, Western in an overhaul of the school curriculum. What they're actually saying is that there's going to be a curriculum review so that the science and mathematics better reflect the diversity of our society and better reflect the realities of the history of science and mathematics. Because at the moment, there are parts of our curriculum where children are taught effectively a very whitewashed list of Western scientists who are the kind of the heroes who you know, pioneered this research, entirely writing out the contributions of many, many other people, often from different parts of the world, where that knowledge was co-opted and brought into a whole kind of discourse of how to understand the world, and then they're written out of the story. So actually to address that, to make it more equitable, to make it more accurate, is the role not only of historians, but also of science. We can't tell a true story about our understanding of the world unless we tell the story about how we came to understand that world. So I think, absolute, hands down, fantastic work from the Royal Societies for effectively sticking their heads above the parapet on
this is going to infuriate the right, isn't it? And it's going to...
Updating and refreshing the curriculum.
Enrage the hard right. And, of course, we name-checked this, didn't we? The Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, yesterday talking about children becoming sort of supportive of or aware of the positives of diversity. I mean, imagine the reverse of that. Diversity is a bad thing. Imagine teaching children that. But it's, whipping up fury.
They quote the UK Deputy Leader of Reform, Richard Tice, who tells The Telegraph, probably very, very pompously, that it's a ludicrous proposal from the party. And I say, no, it's a very legitimate proposal from scientists.
OK, we'll park that there for now. Love that conversation. Talk me through The Sun. This is all about all the single ladies, Matthew, dominating the album charts.
All the singles ladies, all the singles ladies. This is exactly that. It's about women dominating the charts. And this follows the story from in The Telegraph earlier in the year, after the last Emmys, when women were finally getting the recognition they deserved at that massive award ceremony in America. And, yeah, women are doing really well.
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Taylor Swift really, with that Eras tour, dominated sort of local economies, really, and propped up, you know, with the merchandise. Yeah, so it was huge, not only in that music industry.
Can I comment, though, on the fact that we've got Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and they're all not wearing very many clothes, which is up to them if they want to.
Do you know, I was watching Top of the Pops from the 80s a few days ago, and there was a singer, I can't remember who it was, and, you know, she was on Top of the Pops wearing a T-shirt and jeans. Just a simple T-shirt and jeans, and then you look at this and it's completely... Well, it's the opposite. And I thought that was quite classic. I thought that was quite refreshing, actually. But here we are.
One of the other worrying elements of this story, from my point of view, is that I didn't actually recognise some of the names of the pop stars who are now talking about
put my hands up
which
for
makes
that.
me feel even older, do you?
I put my hands up for that. I've got two little ones, and they're not quite of this
age.
Beyonce, Taylor Swift situation, which I'm quite thankful for.
You're not secretly Swifties?
I'm not literally, I don't mind admitting that. I don't have a problem with her, I'm just not in that.
No, nor am I.
So
I think she's awesome.
She is that. She definitely is that.
She's like... And Beyonce as well. I don't know Sabrina Carpenter that well, but I think they're, like, genuinely fantastic role models for young women.
And for the Labour cabinet. They were very happy to go and watch Swift, weren't they? Sorry.
Matthew.
I mean,
we'll leave that there. He's being quite cheeky
Prince
this morning.
William.
I quite like it. For now, we're going to have to leave that conversation. Do join us after the break. We'll have all your top stories for you.
Weeknights on Sky News.
This is your chance.